In our society, we buy smart fridges to remind us to buy groceries when a simple list on the counter would do just fine. Everywhere you look, people are being told they need more apps, more gadgets, more high tech to solve life's simple problems. And in farming, it's no different. Everyone preaches high tech irrigation methods, costly equipment. But what if I told you that real world solutions hide in the shadows of our tech hungry vanities? Low tech tools and methods are helping us right now in transforming our arid land into usable, sustainable soil. And there's one humble tool that's very low tech that I couldn't imagine farming without. Today in this video, I'm going to share with you the one and only simplest low-tech piece of equipment that I have that's made farming easy, valuable, and sustainable. Stay tuned. Greetings, my name is Mr. Muhammad. I am a husband, a father, and most importantly, I am a farmer. My family and I have been building a first-generation family farm out here in the Southeast Arizona desert for the last 3 years from scratch. And now we're here to share, grow, and inspire with others. So welcome to the channel. This is something that's still very new to me. If you have watched some of my other videos, I'm new to this YouTube universe, I guess if you want to call it that. And how's that journey been going for me? It's been interesting. Having to make videos and talk to people in this media is different. Yeah, but it's coming along actually. So if you were curious how that was going, that's how that's going. I guess to give you a little backstory on why I have such a disconnect, actually I have something right here. So we're gonna dive into short story time. So my life before kids, before my wife was this. I was a professional photographer, mostly in the journalism space, but I also owned a few photography studios, portraiture. And I always enjoyed being behind the camera, never in front of the camera. I hated being in front of the camera, but I always enjoyed being in the back part of this. So to me, this is like a conquering your fears type thing. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, that was my life before. This is my life now. Welcome. What is one tool on the farm I could not be without? Every now and then this question will come up, especially if I'm out at like a farmer's market and I'll get to like chatting with the customer or someone who's just curious about like farming. We'll get into like, well, what's the number one tool? What's the tool you would recommend if if someone was starting a farm? Or the question I get from people is, well, what's the first thing I should get? And of course, there's your pedigree tools. A shovel, a hoe, a rake. Like those are the things like that you're gonna normally get if you're starting a farm, or even if you're just a gardener. But what's the tool that kind of separates a gardener from being a farmer? Now, for me, that definition is, a garden is essentially for yourself, or it's a aesthetic thing. There's an emotional attachment. It's more for you and yours, your family, your immediate family. What separates you as a farmer is now you're intending to grow something in order to share it with others. So you have your garden maybe, and that garden's for you. You grow flowers in that garden. You grow all the fun stuff that you like to grow. Maybe you grow a cantaloupe, one cantaloupe here. You grow a bunch of carrots here, and you're good. You're done. Now, a farm is when you're saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to take this piece of land and I'm going to grow X amount of this because I'm either going to sell it, or I'm going to give it away, or I'm going to start a food bank. That's what kind of separates a gardener from a farmer. And so in thinking that way, there's one tool that I always tell people about. Now, most people think it's something very typical and kind of like part of the landscape of if you have a farm, and that's a tractor. While we do have a tractor on our farm, and the range of tasks that it can accomplish is incredible, the value added for having a tractor, it saves me a lot of physical wear on my body, which is incredibly crucial when you start this journey of becoming a farmer, is taking care of yourself, taking care of your health, because that all matters. If your body is also a tool that you're using in the field. So if you have a bad day, your crops feel that. If you have a bad day, your livestock feels that. So taking care of your health is paramount. That's the first tool that you should always take care of if you are considering being a farmer, is remember that. Take care of your weight, take care of your blood pressure, stay in shape, you know, be able to run and grab something without having a stroke or a heart attack. That should be the number one thing you're taking care of. Always remember that. But yeah, so the tractor can accomplish a lot of things, but it's the smaller task that the tractor is very limited in. It could take care of big things. I could dig a hole or a trench or move this or move that. I could till this soil very quickly. But it's the finer detail things that it struggles with. Because there's one thing on a farm that requires the most attention to detail. And it's the one thing that we couldn't be farmers without. And that is seeds. Literally, our job as farmers is to take these things and make them into food. So we dig a little hole, we throw these into the ground, and voila, right? That's kind of like how it happens. It's kind of like how everyone assumes farming goes, is you just, farmers just throw seeds out there, and in a few weeks or a few months we have food. That's the general idea, but that's exactly not how it happens. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and yeah, just wanted to kind of get that out the way for everyone if you had some kind of misconception about how farming works. That's not how it works. But anyway, but what do you do if you have more than one? What do you do if you have exactly 8,172 seeds? How do you effectively get these into the ground at the right depth, at the right spacing, and a decent amount of time, while also saving your back and your sanity? So how long would it take you to walk and plant 8,172 seeds? Okay, let's do a little math. Average person, let's just take average Joe out of America and we put average Joe in a field, okay? If you're working at a pace of 5 seconds per seed, which basically means that you take the seed, you bend over, you poke the hole, drop the seed, you cover, and you move on, okay? If you're doing that at a relatively fast pace, it takes you about 5 seconds per seed. It takes about 11 hours and 3 minutes for a person at 5 seconds per seed to plant 8,172 seeds, okay? If you're moving at a little bit of a slower pace, so maybe you're just kind of in the zone, you're listening to your music, you're going a little bit slower than most, okay? It's gonna take you 10 seconds per seed to plant 8,172 seeds, which comes to roughly about 22 hours. So that's how long it would take you by hand to go out there, each seed, bend over, put it in the ground, cover it up, move on to the next one. It would take you an incredible amount of time. So really that average is just based on if you were to go out there and just do that straight. That's not taking into account breaks, water, maybe you have to use the restroom. That's how long it would take you if you were doing it by hand, which is not viable. As a farmer, your time becomes more valuable, because time in the real world is more important than anything. If you're spending hours upon hours doing a very small, minute task, it takes away from the other more important or better things you could be enjoying about having a farm or living off-grid. For me, I wanted this lifestyle because I wanted a better connection with my kids, with my wife, and I wanted all of us to have a better connection to the earth that we live on. And so for me, doing small tasks like that takes time away from enjoying that part, which is what I came out here for. Now, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy farming, and I never thought in my life that I would eventually become a farmer. And it happened, here I am. But I still want that time with them. I still want to enjoy life, And so if there's a better way that I can handle a small, minute task that saves me time, but that also gives me the enjoyment of doing that task, as well as I can move on and do other things on a farm, or I could get back to having more fun with my family or my wife, like, I'm gonna take that option every single time. So what is this relatively inexpensive low-tech tool that I'm talking about? I will show you. This is my Earthway garden seeder. And I love this thing. Now, when I'm buying any tool, and this has always been a general rule for me, there's 3 criteria that I look at. And that is the cost, the purpose, and the simplicity. This machine scores for me very highly in all of those regards. It's completely simple. It's all mechanical. There's no app, there's no electronics, there's no battery. It's literally load and go. Cost. This thing's roughly gonna cost you 140, 150 bucks, but it's completely worth it. Comes with these 7 plates. So each plate is labeled. That one's for radishes. This one is for beets and Swiss chard. This one's for hemp. This one's kind of a little bit for everything. So cabbages, endives, turnips, lettuce, onions, tomatoes, your very small, fine seeds. Peas, your very large peas, beans, that's what that one's for. Small peas or small seeds that are equivalent to that size. This thing would focus. There we go. Last but not least, a sweet corn plate. Now, I don't know why they chose sweet corn to be the plate, but because I don't grow corn, but all the corn seed I've ever seen is all the same size. So I don't know why they made like a sweet corn plate and not just like a corn plate. But that's what they did. So you get 7 of these. And although they're labeled for a particular seed type, these 7 I have found, I haven't had, you could buy more. They have other varieties or other different types of plates. But for me, I kind of just play with each one and figure out exactly like which one works or what I'm trying to grow with. For example, and this is where that like always being a student in the environment of the earth being your teacher is important, because you will learn as a farmer that something that someone else does might not work for you, or you might not like it. So for me, I have a particular way that I like to grow my salad, my lettuce, my salad greens. So we do have a plate that is for lettuce, which is this one. So this plate is for lettuce. It's made for really small, like seeds right there. But I like to use the radish plate, because the radish plate has these nice little divots in it, and it kind of makes like a nice little bunching of salad greens for me, of salad lettuce, I don't know what you want. It's like leafy greens for salads. I like to grow it with the radish plate because it makes a nice little bunching of lettuce for me. And that does a couple different things. One, it helps with harvesting, because I do a lot of the harvesting by hand. So I could just kind of come out, cut little bunches, throw it in a bag, makes it super simple. It also helps because in the desert, you're always trying to manage evaporation, and you want as much of the water that you put into the soil to go to the plant and the roots. So having those little bunches kind of helps shade the soil a little bit. And so it helps just a tad bit with like the evaporation of water, and with making sure that there could be a bit of a canopy that's over the root zones, so that a lot of that water can go into the plant and not just kind of evaporate away before the plant gets a chance to use it. So that's just something like you'll kind of learn, like when you get different machines on your property or with your farm, you'll kind of learn like everything doesn't work the way the instructions do or what someone else says. You kind of have to like test it out to figure out exactly what works for you. So, and I'll show you how it actually works. We will use the radish plate. And it's super simple. You're just going to pop it in like that, and it's ready to go. Okay, so let's see if we could do a demo here. Okay, so we have this. Load the seed in the hopper, like so. Try not to spill it all over your work desk, and if you do, just scoop them up and put it back, because seeds are what? Seeds are friends, not food. Oh, that was like totally a dad joke. It just shows you like I am totally indoctrinated by the shows that my kids watch and the movies that they watch. But this is also a great way of figuring out exactly how you want this thing to operate for you. So I would suggest if you do get one, do like a dry test with it. So all you do, it has like a little stand on it. And literally, you just turn it. And yeah, the seed will pop out. I don't know if you could see that there. But the seed falls out the bottom. So I like the radish plate because it roughly does 2 to 3 seeds for me. Let's see if I can, and this chute is also adjustable, so you could adjust this to the depth that you want it in the ground. I think you guys get the gist, but I'll do one more so you can see. See, it just falls out. Like so. And so simple. No battery, no gas, no apps. Just roll the damn thing on the ground, and in a few months, you got something you can eat. I actually have to get this this wheat seed. So this is actually Sonoran wheat. This is a indigenous wheat that we grow here on our farm. And my wife makes the most fantastic breads with this. She makes these 4 cheese cheesy breads that go crazy at the market. And I'm supposed to get this wheat into the ground because I have another video where I show people how we grow Sonoran wheat. So why don't we do this? Why don't we take this field trip outside, and I'll give you a live demo of how this works, and I'll kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone because I will get this seed into the ground, and I will also have some content to give you. So let's go outside. Let's take a field trip. So first, I get my depth how I want it, and you can decide. It has a little like gauge on here. This thing does get stuck. If I could get it out and show you. Oh yeah, simple tools. Just there's that labor, that farmer exhaustion I was telling you about. It's doing little things like this, but. Okay, so it has little markers on there so you can see the depth. Is it accurate? It's not 100% accurate, but it kind of gets you in the general region of how you want it. And again, like I said, a lot of this is going to be figuring things out of how you like it and how you want things on your farm. A lot of it depends on the soil variety that you have. So we get the seed in. Is that even showing? We get the seed in like so. And gosh, I'm so bad at this. To you people that have been doing YouTube for years and years and years, I give you your credit. This shit is not as easy as it looks, especially when you're not used to having a camera in your face all day. So very simple. This is a row we're gonna do here. And we just start pushing, like so. And as you can see, it's gonna lay seed. Probably can't see it because it's super small, but it's laying. And mind you, I am doing a row single-handedly. And this row is about 85 feet. Now imagine if I was doing this by hand, planting seed by seed, over and over and over again. I probably wouldn't be saying the best words in this video. I might not even be using a video at all because I'd be exhausted. And that's that. We did a whole row. And just like magic, we're back inside where it feels a little cooler. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the field trip. Hope you enjoyed the video. We do have more to come. Yeah. If I could give you some parting words as a farmer, as a father, as a husband, do what you love in life. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody, as long as it gives you a real value, as long as it builds connection between yourself and the universe and the people around you, do it. I never thought that in my 40s I would be evacuating my family out of the city, selling our home and becoming a farmer. And yet here we are. Interesting story, another small story. I love telling people about this stuff because it just makes me feel good. But this shed that I'm in, this 12 by 24 foot shed, is actually the first building that we had on our farm before we had a house. So when we first moved out here, we had an RV, and it was cool for a moment, and then it started to suck. So all you people that talk about RV living is so cool, it's not. We hated it. My wife hated it, I hated it. After a while, the kids even hated it. So we got this shed because we were like, well, if we just have more square footage, things would be a little bit better. And so we got this shed and we were gonna deck it out and do the whole mini shed thing. Still sucked, okay? So it's now my workshop, more of my hobby workshop. I have like the garage, that's my gotta do work workshop, but this is like where I come. This is like my place of meditation, my little temple. Right back there where that CNC machine is actually where me and my wife used to sleep, and then the kids had their beds here. And so it's kind of interesting, you know, kind of coming full circle, and the very place that, you know, we started in is now a spot that is my hobby room that I'm trying to do YouTube videos out of. But it all just goes to show, do what you love. I love this. I wouldn't trade anything. I wouldn't trade any part of our past. And yeah, my midlife crisis has been pretty awesome, finding something that I love to do and doing it every single day. Until next time, stay out of trouble. Thanks for watching.